What's up, my comic comrades? If you're not watching Invincible Season 3 on Amazon Prime Video, you're missing out. It's easily one of the best comic book series, animated or live action, and Season 3 is no exception. For starters, this season officially kicked off the Invincible War story and just introduced fan-favorite Invincible villain Conquest, who is voiced by the great Jeffrey D. Morgan. We actually just posted a History of Conquest episode the other day, which lays out his full backstory and his entire arc in the comics. You can find that episode right here. But that casting, as many fans have noted, also makes for a pretty cosmic Walking Dead reunion, considering Invincible is voiced by Steven Yeun, who played Glenn in The Walking Dead, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, of course, played the infamous Negan, who brutally killed Glenn on the show. So Glenn gets a chance for his revenge. Anyway, diehard Invincible fans know Season 3 also introduced another great Invincible villain from the comics, and that is Powerplex. He's a villain with a fantastic and tragic backstory. In a lot of ways, Powerplex reminds me of a Batman villain that would have been created for Batman the Animated Series. He's an extremely tragic character with a good motivation to make him hate Invincible. And yes, those elements of his character have largely already been laid out in Season 3, and I gotta say, they did a great job adapting the character. They actually even expanded on it a little bit, making you care for that character even more. And that has been true for the entire series thus far. But with that said, let's dive into Powerplex's story. As you would guess, he was created by Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley and first appeared in Invincible issue 59. The issue is basically self-contained, giving us his origin, and we even see him battle with Invincible, so let's jump right in. Issue 59 starts off with a close-up of Powerplex surging with energy as he screams, "Invincible! You think you are above the law? You think your actions hold no consequence? You are wrong. You will pay for your crimes against humanity. Powerplex will make you pay." We then turn the page and see that Powerplex isn't actually screaming at Invincible, but instead rehearsing what he's going to say to Invincible in front of his wife and son. His wife replies, "Scott, please, you're going to scorch the carpet again," with the son saying, "Daddy, funny." Scott replies, "No, I've got better control of it now. I won't scorch the carpet. Promise." "But how was it? Did it sound good? Powerful? Threatening?" His wife replies, "Yes, all of that. It was great, honey. Really." He then kisses her on the forehead, saying, "Thanks, Becky. Thanks for letting me do this. I know you're putting up with a lot." She tells him, "Not so much. This is important to me too. I also love Jessica." He then tells her, "I won't be much longer now that I'm ready. I could feel it. It's going to be soon." She tells him, "That's so exciting, Scott. You've worked so hard for this." So the immediate takeaway is that Scott's wife is 100% on board with him going to fight Invincible, which I personally think makes for a more interesting and complex story, as clearly him getting revenge on Invincible has something to do with his sister. So his wife is like, "Yeah, you have to do this." Anyway, we then see that Scott works at the Pentagon, and while he's looking through a microscope, one of his co-workers comes in saying, "Scott, get ready. I'm sure if you're not next, it'll be soon." Scott says, "Huh?" And his co-worker tells him, "I just got read the Riot Act. More of those biotherm discs they developed, those things that are supposed to trap body heat and chain it back into the body, have disappeared." Scott's like, "Really?" His co-worker tells him, "Yeah, get ready to be chewed out. They've even got some military jackass in there for intimidation. Don't worry though, there's barely a dozen of us with access to those things. This will be over soon. It's only a matter of time before they find the guy who's actually stealing these things." We see that Scott has a worried look on his face because obviously he's the one stealing them and using them to enhance his powers as Powerplex. Which reminds me, have you seen Ubisoft's Invincible Guarding the Globe mobile game? It's a freaking amazing mobile game set in the Invincible universe that takes you on a complete campaign with an original storyline that follows the TV series timeline. So we're excited to have it as today's sponsor. Anyway, in the game you get to work alongside the head of the Global Defense Agency, Cecil Stedman, in a new story featuring all our favorite characters. In fact, you actually join the GDA to unravel a mystery of a deadly clone army. The superpowered idol battles with your favorite heroes from the show are wild and just as blood-soaked as you'd imagine. I mean, in the game you have Robot, Adam Eve, Omni-Man, the Immortal, and of course Invincible, just to name a few. Not to mention you get to collect heroes and villains as you go, then knock out some team management and strategy and dive headfirst into some action-packed and bloody battles. There are also multiplayer rankings, Cecil's Nightmare game mode, and live events related to Season 3 of the animated series. And let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you love the Invincible universe as much as we do, and this game lets you be part of the action, which is dope. You can download the game for yourself now via our link in the description or the QR code on the screen. And when you use our link, it'll unlock Kid Omni-Man and Omni-Man, so jump in the fun and download today. Okay, so getting back to Powerplex and Invincible issue 59, we jump forward a bit in the timeline to see that Scott has gone out as Powerplex and is terrorizing citizens while telling them to run before Invincible arrives. He continues to yell, "Get out of here. You're not going to want to be here when he arrives. Stay clear of his path, of destruction. He's had enough victims. And while he's causing chaos in the streets, Shapesmith arrives saying, "Oh cool, I get to show off my new costume," as he kicks Powerplex in the face. With Powerplex saying, "You're not invincible," Shapesmith then says, "Sorry, is this better?" as he shapeshifts into Invincible. But this just infuriates Powerplex as he says, "No, not even close." He then uses his powers to blast off and go back home. Back at his house, we see his wife yelling at him saying, "I can't believe you didn't even tell me. What if you had found him?" Scott replies, "I got spooked. They know about the equipment I stole from work. I don't want to go to jail for that before I bring him down." His wife tells him, "I'm sorry, it's just, I'm invested in this. I don't want to feel left out. After all this work, I want to see you take Invincible down. I would hate to miss it. They know you stole the biotherm discs?" He replies, "Yeah, apparently. Well, they know someone did, but it won't take long before they pinpoint me. I just need more. I was able to alter them to help me control my energy absorption powers. But what I had wasn't enough. Everything I absorbed was still leaking out, just slower than before. But now that I have more, I can absorb stronger blasts much more effective. I didn't want to steal more. I knew the risk, but I had to. And now I worry I screwed it all up." His wife then says, "Don't think like that. You're doing what has to be done." As their son says, "Don't be sad, Daddy." Scott says, "I can't help it. I think of Jessica, of letting her down." As he tells his son, "It's okay, Jack. Daddy's fine. I'm not sad. Come here." He then starts playing cards with his son as he tells his wife, "It's just I miss her so much. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had just talked to her the day before. She was dating that musician. I was making fun of her for it. And then Invincible and Omni-Man had their fight, which leveled the building she worked in. I know it was just for show. I know they were really working together." He then starts yelling, saying, "Nobody knows where Omni-Man went? Still? They still have no idea? That's a lie. They still haven't found her. They never found what was left of my sister." His screaming starts to scare his son as his wife replies, "I know, Scott, I know. I'm angry too, but you're scaring Jack." He then hugs his son saying, "I'm going into work tomorrow and I'm resigning. Then I'm going out and I'm going to focus on this. I can't have this hanging over my head anymore. I'm going to find Invincible no matter what it takes." And there we have it, friends, the motive of why Scott wants to kill Invincible. His sister was killed as part of the collateral damage of Omni-Man and Invincible's fight, and he thinks that Invincible and Omni-Man are secretly working together and that battle was all for show. This is also why his wife is okay with this, because his sister and her sister-in-law was killed as a direct result of Omni-Man and Invincible's fight. It actually gives Scott a very tragic backstory and motive. He's not necessarily a bad guy. Don't get me wrong, he's become a villain for sure, as he's going about things completely wrong. But it's not from I want to conquer the world or a selfish, self-righteous reason. It's because of grief. The loss of his sister has essentially turned him down the wrong path. He's essentially a perfect example of what the Joker was trying to prove to Batman in The Killing Joke, that one bad day could make even the most noble man turn evil. Anyway, after this conversation, we see that later on Powerplex wasn't lying and gets to work as we see him attacking and soloing Teen Team. As he says, "You're not supposed to be here. He is. I want Invincible." After that, Rexplode throws one of his batons at him saying, "Invincible's probably busy somewhere playing kissy face with his new girlfriend. Here's the consolation prize." But Powerplex just says, "Thanks. This should be just enough energy to send you morons packing. I don't want to hurt you, but I won't let you stop me." As Robot says, "Rex, you idiot. He's obviously getting his power from absorbed energy. You're just making him more powerful." Rex then simply says, "Sorry." We're then taken back to Scott's house once again, where he's screaming saying, "It's not working. I can't get him to come to me. I can't find him. There are too damn many superheroes. How do I get Invincible to come after me?" As he's screaming with energy surging from him, his wife says, "Scott, please. You're upsetting your son." So he takes off his mask and says, "I'm sorry, Jack. Daddy's just angry, but not at you. Don't be scared." "Sorry, Becky. I didn't mean to." She says, "No, it's okay. I need to put him down for the night anyway." After she puts their son to bed, he says, "I think I've got it. It's crazy. It wouldn't work, not like I want. It would change everything." She asks, "What is it? Tell me." He says, "No, we can't do it. You'd be too involved. It would make me look more like a villain, something I've wanted to avoid. I'd be misunderstood at first. It would take a long time for people to fully realize the good I've done. I can't do it. I can't. But it might be the only way." His wife says, "If it's the only way, then you tell me. I don't care what it is. I want to do it. If you need me to help, please let me. That monster killed your sister. We've come too far for this to stop now. Let's do this together, you and me. Let's do whatever it takes to kill Invincible." He then looks at her sad, saying, "Okay, but it would need to involve Jack too." Yeah, clearly this isn't gonna end well. We then see that his plan involves his wife and son being tied up and pretending to be his hostages. He asks her, "Are you comfortable?" She says, "We're fine. Don't worry about us. What is this place?" He He says government-owned weapons testing facility decommissioned. They probably don't know they still have it. The news has been running the feed for a few minutes now. He could be here any minute. It says I'm going to kill you if he doesn't come alone. So he shouldn't bring anyone. I hope this works. And it does, as on the next panel we see Invincible crash through the ceiling saying, "What the heck, dude? Please let the lady and her kid go. You don't have to do this. I don't even know who you are." Powerplex says, "Do you know who Jessica Duvall is?" He replies, "No, I don't." "Again, man, what the heck?" Powerplex says, "She was an office assistant at an advertising agency. She was working there to pay her way through college. You and your father tore through her building. I'll never know how horrified she was in those final moments as the building collapsed all around her." Invincible Saturn replies, "A lot of people died in that fight. I don't know the name of everyone. I'm sorry. All I could say is I'm sorry." But Powerplex just releases a burst of energy at Invincible saying, "You're not sorry. You don't even care. But you will. I'll make sure of it. You think you're above the law. You think your actions hold no consequence. You are wrong. You will pay." Powerplex continues to hit Invincible with energy blasts as Invincible says, "Stop. I'm sorry for your loss. You have to know that I didn't mean for any of that to happen. But I'm not going to let you kill me." Powerplex responds, "I'm Powerplex. I don't need you to let me." Invincible then starts throwing punches at Powerplex saying, "Wait a minute. I know who you are. You're that guy. You beat up Team. They said you were looking for me. You absorb energy from explosions." And as soon as he says explosions, Powerplex starts charging up saying, "I absorb all forms of energy, including the kinetic energy from your punches. Thanks. Now you've made me strong enough to destroy you," as he blasts Invincible away. Invincible then gets up and tries to untie the hostages, which unknowingly to him are Powerplex's wife and kid. Invincible then says, "Screw this. Come on, lady. I'm getting you two out of here." But she just spits in Invincible's face as he says, "What the heck, lady?" At this point, Powerplex comes in with a flying kick to Invincible saying, "Get your hands off her. Don't touch her. The people fear you, you know. It might not be obvious, but you scare everyone. We're all waiting for you to reveal your true intentions, dreading the moment you try to take over to kill us all. But they won't have to worry about that. I'll protect them from you. I'll make sure you'll never hurt anyone ever again." As he grabs Invincible by the head, unleashing all of his stored up energy, saying, "Die, Invincible, for everything you've done, for all the pain you've caused. Die." But the overload energy goes everywhere and hits his wife and child as he looks behind him saying, "No, Becky, Jack, I didn't. The current, I didn't think it would travel across the floor. No, 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 no." As he looks at the charred remains of his family, he then picks up his wife and son's body saying, You made me do this," while looking back at Invincible. Invincible then gets up saying, "I didn't. I'm sorry this happened." But Powerplex just blasts energy at Invincible yet again saying, "You made me kill my family." Invincible blocks it saying, "No, I'm not going to fight you. I know how to beat you now." As he bear hugs Powerplex saying, "Come here." Powerplex just screams, releasing energy saying, "My son, my wife, my sister, countless others are dead because of you. You have to die." As Powerplex continues to deplete his energy like a battery losing its charge. Invincible yells, "My God, man, look at what you've done. Stop, please, just stop this." Powerplex says, "Me? This is all your fault. You overloaded me with energy. You knew what you were doing. Everyone would still be alive if it wasn't for you. They would still be, oh God, they're dead. They're dead." As he collapses to the floor in pain and agony, having just accidentally killed his wife and son. As Invincible looks saddened by what he just witnessed. Then on the last page of the issue, we're brought to Stronghold Penitentiary where Invincible has incarcerated Powerplex. And we see Invincible talking to Powerplex in his cell saying, "I'm glad you agreed to see me, Scott, Powerplex. I just wanted to talk to you. I've done a lot of good during my time as Invincible, but if I'm honest, I have to admit that." But Scott interrupts saying, "Shut up. I agreed to this only so I could talk to you. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. You think this is it for me? You think I'm no longer a threat to you? I'm here to say that you're wrong. I will avenge all the deaths you caused, each and every one of them. I've got time in here. I'm researching, finding every single person who lost their life because of something you did. I'm going to make you pay for it all. I won't be in here forever. They'll keep me contained. No solar energy, no electricity. They've cut me off. But sooner or later, someone will mess up. A guard will get careless, hit me, give me the energy. I need to escape. When that happens, I'll find you and I'll find a way to kill you. And with that, the issue ends." Yeah, what a hell of an issue. And how cool is Powerplex? Great villain with an awesome backstory. Again, if you've seen the episode with him in Invincible Season 3, you more or less already knew all of this, as they pulled it from the comics, and as we know, the source material is often better, which says a lot because Invincible Season 3 is phenomenal. In any case, what do you think of Powerplex? Do you think he's as good of a villain as we do? Let us know down in the comments. Other than that, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.